Ethereum coin has secured this broken zone, but yet is still showing some kind of weakness here. Good morning, traders. Welcome back to our channel, and we are back with Ethereum coin after like couple of weeks. We haven't looked at it properly, so here we are, Ethereum coin on a weekly time frame and later on 4-hour time frame as well. So straight to the point, last time we looked at Ethereum coin was basically when we were somewhere near here and we were just on the edge of breaking out from this major resistance zone. So as of now, we have nicely broken this major support, 100 EMA, and also we have multiple times tested the 100 EMA and this, again, this resistance line as well. So zooming in, we can see 1, 2, and 3, 4, basically this one as well. We have been testing with those wicks here, as you can see. But although we tested, retested meaning, and price is holding pretty strong here, we are still seeing some kind of potential like fake out to happen here. So to tell you more about it, let's go on a 4-hour time frame, and now zooming out a little bit more, you can see what we mean. So remove this box here. So we had multiple attempts to go for like upper zones here, so meaning the multiple zones should be like this zone here. Wait, this zone here, this zone here, and also this zone here as well. So now with that being said, after trying multiple times breaking out from like, okay, this first one was just like out of the enthusiasm of the buyers, we had a nice retest. Now we had multiple times like trying to go for another bullish moment, of course bouncing from this 200 EMA on 4-hour time frame and resistance line again. But after having some kind of moment here, we can see we formed kind of like double top pattern here, and after breaking this neckline, we broke completely this 200 EMA zone here, from where last time we had a nice bounce. So here, here, and here, like these three zones here. Although we had this dump, we went for nice recovery, which is of course the natural movement for the Ethereum or any other coin after having this kind of like liquidation movement. But what's actually interesting currently is that after having this recovery moment here, we had another attempt of breaking down and going for lower zones. So we are not very optimistic about the Ethereum coin as of now. Like, yes, we had a nice breakout here on weekly time frame. So this breakout here, it was very nice and beautiful. We had a nice retest as well and multiple retests on a weekly time frame, but yet we can't consider it to be like a clean retest and a clean breakout. In order to like tell that this will go for further bullish movement, we need to break out from this zone here. So by this zone, we mean this major zone here. Once we see a clean breakout from this zone, securing this zone as well, then we will most likely see a nice movement to the upper zone. So on a weekly time frame, the nice movement should be somewhere here, meaning like 2850. Once we see this kind of movement here, it will of course go like for all those fair value gap zones that you can see. So this candle has left multiple fair value gap zones, this candle here as well, and so on. But in order to see this kind of movement, we are going to wait for this weekly candle to close. So if we see this candle to close somewhere in like red, meaning somewhere in current zones or even lower, we might see some kind of movement to the lower zones, again retesting potential at this zone, and then we just need to see how price will react this time to this zone. Usually when it goes like on a second attempt to retest that same zone where we had this liquidation movement, it usually breaks down, meaning we are going most likely to have something like this. So movement something like this. So zooming out, and once we had this kind of movement here, if we are going to see another attempt to go for like those lower zones here, and we reach even close to this zone here, there is a high probability of seeing a nice breakdown here and movement to the lower zones, potentially of course going back inside this triangular formation and just gliding inside it. But if we see a weekly candle close above this line or somewhere close to this line here, then we will most likely see a potential further bullish moment. So currently it is still a little bit early to say if we are going to see a breakout or breakdown, but as of now, just looking purely on the charts, we are not so optimistic neither on 4-hour time frames or on a weekly time frame as well. Yes, we had this magnificent movement to lower zones, but it was more of like necessity for like lower zones to be reached in order to have like further growth. So something like this kind of movement. Although after having a nice breakout, this was more of like retest, but this one actually is more of like liquidation moment, meaning we are still seeing some kind of like weakness kicking again here as well. You can see where now price is potentially going for another attempt to break out and potentially recover the price near this zone. So I think the game plan is pretty simple. We just need to wait for the weekly candle to close, and from there we can like discuss furthermore if we will see any kind of like bullish movement to the upper zones or a nice bearish correctional movement, which will of course lead the price back inside this zone. One more thing actually is that on a weekly time frame, although we had the breakout, these kind of breakouts where we have like, so removing these lines here, where we have like multiple wicks touching again this resistance line, they usually result in more of like fake out, if you can say it that way. So that's why we need to be very careful, and if we see a fake out, we can't miss this kind of bearish moments that we might see in the couple of like next 10 days, maybe 15. So as always, trade safe, trade smart, and see you in the next session.